All right, in this series of This Week in Zaw, we're going to be doing things quite a bit different on this season. This is season 3. We're going to be comparing all the different AI code editors, going through and doing a video where we compare them, ask each of them to effectively generate the same output. We're going to be using Cursor, Claude Code, Kiro, and of course, Microsoft's GitHub Copilot. We're going to do each one of these. In this week's episode, we have Jeff Kodad, of course, and myself, Chad Michael, and our guest is Andy this week. And each week, we're just going to try some of these different editors. We're going to go ahead and jump into the episode now. This first one was our first one trying to do this. It was a little rough, but we made some progress, and we'll keep doing these each week.
I actually don't remember the intro. I didn't pull it up. Welcome back to another episode of This Week in Zaw, the podcast where we dive into the world of software engineering while eating some delicious food. This week, our guest is Andy Untasir. I never know if I say it completely right.
Close enough.
And we're going to be experimenting with some AI technology. Chad's probably going to give you a better intro about that. We're eating some Casey's Pizza. It's a variety of slices, though, so I don't know that we're going to do a full review. The taco pizza is present. I did have a slice of chicken bacon ranch, and it was delightful.
Oh, I
never had Casey's CBR. It was pretty solid.
It's a favorite in my household.
Yeah, they have good bacon. Because
They
their
have a good
bacon
bacon.
brekkie pizza is also really solid.
I had that. That's what I had before this. No, today we're going to try to hit 3 different editors, and we're going to keep going this whole season here. 3 different, not editors, 3 different AI tools and techniques to try to build the This Week in Zaw website, which needs kind of a revamp anyways.
We should probably point out that we're not changing the theme of the season because we didn't like Ramos Pizza. Ramos, if you want to reach out to us to sponsor season 4, we're open to that offer. Just let us know.
True story. Their pizza was great. I actually recommended it. Someone I was talking to this week, they didn't know what to eat for supper, and I'm like, how about some Ramos Pizza?
I recommended it recently too.
So, well, I think today we'll start. Normally we ask someone kind of their biggest mistake, but we're going to get Andy just to make a mistake on TV instead. Take us through and maybe show us kind of like this Week in Zaw website. We're going to try to add some a really basic page to it, or kind of upgrade that home page. Right now it's effectively a shell of a site. There is some little bit of stuff in the background. And Andy's going to be using Claude for us and using it to actually build that homepage out for us. So maybe kind of show what's there and then try to use that tool to build that. And we'll jump over to Kodad using Cursor, and I'll try to use Kiro here in a little bit to achieve the same results.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna make a big mistake right here.
Okay, big mistake right off the bat.
So you can see that we have the Angular site and the front site. And full disclosure, I have written very little Angular, so this is gonna be very fun. But we have an assignment in the README file here, and as you can see, I have Claude. Claude, if you haven't used it, is a kind of more of a terminal CLI tool, but you can run inside of Terminal Visual Studio Code here. But Chad puts an assignment in here, so I'm actually going to just give it one big command.
Don't tell us to do all of them.
Oh, you don't want me to do all of them?
No, we're only doing part
Only
one.
do the first one?
Yeah,
Okay.
but this is a multi-week podcast. We can't do all of it in 1 week.
Okay, all right. Well, I was gonna be bold and do them all, but we'll
No,
start
don't
with
do them
number
all.
1. So, I'm gonna give Claude has the context of the whole thing it's running in. So I'm just gonna tell it to look in the readme.md file and do assignment number 1. I'm also going to tell it there are some PNGs. There's some mock PNG files in the root. Oops.
I do think some of the stuff you're doing there, like writing that extra context, is going to make it way more likely.
Yeah,
to be
so I
successful.
wanted to know that that it can look at these PNG files, which are some little mock images. So we're going to go ahead and let it roll here. We're going to skullduggery this, I guess. So you can see Claude does a really good job of kind of giving you like how it's kind of iterating through this. So it's actually like looked through the workspace. It's found these PNG files. It says it understands the design. It even gives you a nice little readout here of the homepage showing a featured list of episodes, title, author. Now it's actually giving me a to-do list. So it's still kind of cooking on this thing. Yep, it found there's already a home component. It just currently shows This Week in Zaw. It's checking its styles, reading more files.
Interestingly, you didn't really tell it much about the site at all.
I did not. Yeah,
You
it's
just
just
basically said, "Hey, let's go."
Yep, it's just going to infer that. Oh, it's also I've kind of intended to tell it to use the.
And as a little side note, I did remove the README used to have more information kind of generically about it. It's been stripped down quite a bit. There is
Yep.
still technically the VS Code helper file, or kind of the VS Code.
Oh, it has the.
I have to figure out the name of that file.
We're talking about
Or the GitHub
the GitHub
Copilot.
Copilot instructions. Yep.
So it does have that, so it's maybe using some of that to help it, but I don't
So
think
it's got a little bit of. It's got some information available to it about
Yeah.
the Angular app. For me personally, one thing I like is when it's for the code part. I actually like it to tell me the files it's going to edit, so I can do a quick little code review. I don't just let it go nuts. You could do that as you got more confident, but so I'm going to kind of spin down, like, yeah, that code looks pretty good. If I didn't like it, I could say no and tell Claude to do differently, or if I said yes here, it would just automatically update all the files. So I'm going to say yes on this one. For some reason, it says failed to apply an edit. Oh, it might have just been some sort of string. Like it was trying to edit things twice or something. So it's going to do a complete replacement of the component. This is kind of nice. This is, even though it is a command line tool, it does have a small VS Code integration, which I just learned about. So it actually shows me pops open the differential up here at the top, so I can code review it up here as well. So you can see we've gone from nothing of a home page to fully fleshed out. Got JavaScript, got the home component. So I don't know Angular, so I'm gonna say that's good.
we're fully vibing here.
Yeah, we're vibing. I know enough Angular to be dangerous.
I think that goes for everyone.
Yeah. So now it's actually updating the HTML template to match the design mockups, which is nice. So this is one thing I don't like doing, so I'm pretty happy that this tool's
I
gonna
thought
do
that was
it
a
for me.
good. I wasn't going to put that in my message to it, but I'm going to now.
I will say, my usage of Claude, I think it does a pretty good job of figuring some stuff out. Like I can be a little less prescriptive with it sometimes, and it does a pretty good job of viewing the context as it has access to the whole folder. So let's see, now we got some more stuff to the home component. You see here's our hero section component, episode section, pagination. That looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and come back down to my thing and say, yep. Now it's talking about adding a forms module for the ng model binding. So that was a pretty small change. I probably could have auto accepted that, but there we go. Another small forms module change. So now we're going to mess with some of the styling. This is like the new get your coffee while your code is compiling
Yes, it's the
paradigm. Go get my drink while my prompt is kerfuffling. I never did ask Claude if you could tell it to not make up all those words, but I think it annoys people, so I'm gonna keep it.
Isn't that what Neiman's things about?
Yeah,
right
that
now?
was
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Looks like we got a bunch of CSS. No one can actually read that, so
Yeah,
we'll
and
say yes on that.
the only way to know if CSS works is to test it. You can't read it.
Okay, now it's gonna look at the routes. It's like a pretty simple route change.
Yeah, it's be minor.
Yep. I wonder if I could try to tell it to auto accept changes that are like one line.
Yeah, or like route changes.
Yeah.
The
Like
probability that it gets that around probably isn't very high.
So we're getting close to the code complete, I believe, and then it looks like our last to do is to test it.
That's one thing you definitely notice with AI tools, though. You mentioned taking longer. Every once in a while, they just, for no apparent reason, seem to
Yeah,
take.
yeah, it is a little blind to why
Yeah.
something like this is taking longer. Also, you get fluctuations in usage during the
Yeah.
day. I've noticed, like, during peak times, Claude can chug a little more.
And on a lot of those too, you mentioned, you joked about the build environments. It feels a lot like that at times. You almost have to go get a cup of coffee. I personally find that if I allow myself to like move to a web page or anywhere else off of this, I personally struggle because then I don't come back
Yeah.
right away or I lose focus. So I often have to just sit there and wait. Now, some people have used the trick where they have multiple of these going all at once. I can't mentally do that, or at least haven't had as much success as others maybe.
I think I could do that if I was working on multiple projects or something, or multiple areas, but like, I think it'd be hard to
On the same thing.
on the same
Yeah.
thing in the same branch.
I guess I have on front end and back end, have it making front end and
Yeah.
back end change at the same time. I can do that. I can pull that off.
I wonder if this will cause us to think differently about how we structure repos and solutions over time.
Yeah. Because you can focus on each,
Yeah.
agent can be working on one thing. But
Yep. Yeah, it may actually cause us to explode the number of repos and
Yeah.
make smaller ones, so
Yeah.
things can just be working on one repo and shrink its context down.
You're maybe stalled right now.
I'm chugging a little bit here.
We want to pause and we can come back to this and like code add.
Yeah,
Do some cursor.
I can stop sharing and we'll watch some cursor and we'll come back and check in on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can see this struggle. So about the same time that Andy started his,
Oh no.
I started by asking Cursor to take a look at the directory and try to gain some context. It seemed like it digested the context pretty well. And then I just asked it to start looking at the homepage and start building it.
Okay.
So I think it took about the same approach that Claude did, and it started building it. And it told me it did a lot of stuff, but I noticed immediately it opened multiple terminal windows, and none of the terminal windows actually worked. So it said that it was up and running, nothing was running.
Oh.
So I had to immediately stop and go run it manually.
You just didn't run it from the button on the left?
I didn't get my button on the left, whatever you're talking about. Second time opening Cursor, so I don't have the npm scripts over here, if that's what you're talking
Is
about.
that one on the top there? The thing on the left is always how I run.
Top left.
Because then it runs it fully integrated into the cursor.
Well, I'm coming at this from, this is the second time I've ever opened this.
No, that's
Going
fine.
blind.
That's fine.
So the agent told me it was going to run it and it didn't. So
Yeah, I never
a little
let that. I would.
disappointed.
Yeah, but that's fine.
So I started it manually.
Okay, there you go.
Noticed immediately one of the images that was supposed to be there didn't load.
Oh.
So I told it, hey, that image didn't load. It said it was going to fix it, and it immediately broke everything.
Oh.
So now it looks like my HTML component is not, or the HTML portion of my home component is broken, and the website isn't loading again. So let's see if going and refreshing that does.
Have you
anything.
any code changes?
It did make a lot of code changes,
Why?
but I don't know. I think it tried to move an image somewhere and then
Oh.
reload it. So let's just say you broke things. Can you get the site running again? Question mark. I also can't spell broken apparently. I think it was trying to think about something else. Or changes broke the site. It's not loading now. Can you analyze this and fix it? Question mark. The HTML template got corrupted during the edit.
There you go.
I don't know what that means, but
That means it got corrupted.
well, it just looks like it messed up some syntax.
Yeah. I would use the Git tools and just revert everything.
Everything.
Well, you haven't tried to make a change yet.
Oh, it made a bunch of changes.
You did?
Yeah.
Intentionally?
Well, when I told it to change the homepage, it did.
Oh, so you've already asked it to change the homepage.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
So here's the running version of what I got so far on the front page.
Oh,
guys
oh,
can
look at
see it,
you.
but,
Oh.
like it spit out something.
Oh,
But
okay,
it-
never mind. I was in the
It was immediately broken. So I'm feeling like maybe it's because I'm running in a directory that's one above the front end directory.
Oh, you're
of
not just in the front end
No, I
directory?
wanted the root because then there's more context in there with the hero images and stuff. So I think it was going to use some of that as context.
Yeah, the play button wouldn't have worked in that situation.
But now I think it's getting very confused about like I'm running the Angular app in that front end directory, but I'm not in the front end directory.
Yeah.
So it's trying to do a lot of like CD and then npm
Yeah.
start, and it's getting confused. I think.
I think it's a fairly unnormal.
I think this
Scenario.
one of the things I like about Claude is that I can launch whatever spot in the tree I want in Visual Studio Code, but in the command line I can CD to whatever directory I want to start
Yeah.
from my context
I think that would be neat.
root. So
So I noticed this the last time too. When I first got access to Cursor, all I did was try to go into a thing and say, make me a website with lists, things in the list, and let me rate the things in the list. And it spun up an entire site fine, but nothing worked on the site. Like none of the buttons did anything. And I told it, hey, that's not working, add this part. And then it would say, okay, it's working, and then it wouldn't work. So I don't know if there's like a disconnect between how it's trying to run stuff. I'm calling these things like mini terminals or something,
Yeah.
because that's what this visually looks like to me without knowing what it's doing in here. But it just seems like it doesn't fully understand what is running in these terminals versus the changes it made and how to like look at that and change it after that. That or I'm just not doing it right.
Well, I do think the running it outside the main kind of folder is going to be pretty unusual for it.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I can see that being unsupported or untested, very well tested. Because I've ran it in there and it tends to know what it's doing.
Yeah, so if I were to drop out, reopen the directory in that front
Yeah, I
end
think its
directory,
kind of chance of success will go up a lot.
then I'd have to bring all my context.
Yeah,
with
it
right?
does come. It comes a little bit to that point of Andy. I think if we get down to smaller repositories, smaller things that we're working with, it's going to do better in each one of those individual contexts.
Yeah, actually.
All right, do you want to, Andy? Do you want to show kind of the end result? Uh-oh, he's close.
I think I'm close. I was just bringing up the browser. Okay. Let me share my screen.
So this did it here too. So it, like I said, it puts those things on the screen, but it puts these buttons and none of the buttons do anything. This is what it did to me last time I did it too. So it's like it knows I need to make buttons
Yeah.
there, but it doesn't correctly link anything to anywhere.
All right, so I actually just ended up interrupting my command.
Yep.
I think we got lost in the internet or something. So I just gave it a command to say finish the to-dos, and so it really only had to test. And so it says let me test the homepage. It launched the application. It stopped it, ran it again, and so then it gave me kind of a final assignment. One is complete. It talks about the mock data, responsive design. Homepage now matches the design mockups. So I'm going to tell it to launch the Angular site. You could just do this by hand, right?
Yep.
But I'm going to tell it to do it. Use some tokens. Burn down a
Yeah, we can
rainforest.
see who's using the most tokens. That would be
Right.
interesting to judge at the end.
Yep. But you can see it figures out that it's going to, it starts with the mock ngserve. So Angular site's now running.
And you didn't tell it how to do that or anything. It figured that out by
It just
looking.
figured all that out.
I
Yep.
sure got that one too.
Yep.
I think it even went and updated the mock. Because there was only 2 or 3 episodes in the mock, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
So-
remember which ones they were?
Yeah.
Was it like the
Holy
Jeff
crap! Where do you get
episode?
those?
I think it went out and found them.
It found those from the web. That's not in the file.
That's what I'm thinking. They figured out This Week in Zaw and found our YouTube channel and pulled it in or something. But
Oh
also
my,
added
that's-
some weird tags
yeah.
that don't make any sense. So
Yeah.
Okay, so looks like we got,
That's pretty much what we wanted, right?
yep, let's see. Look at that.
actually works. Yeah.
Nailed the
I mean, it is a video with Doug in it, so it's kind
all
of
episodes. So
Did it touch those other pages? Or is that still the same chat?
that page already existed.
yeah, it looks the same. That one works.
Wow, good job.
Are those the 3 original ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Those are the 3.
Mine went and got more somehow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah.
But I think
Does the search work?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Search for like West.
search for Steve.
Well,
Got-
that'll get 2. Both episodes have Steve in it.
Well, they only got one.
Oh, it worked. Look at this. So do that again. Type Steve again. It actually worked. It just the user experience is like they put Steve up there and Steve down here.
Oh,
So if
interesting.
you just search Doug, does it just show one on top?
Yeah, it just showed one on top for Doug.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So
That's
that's
the episode renders up
Yeah.
top.
that's something I could, if I didn't like that behavior, I could probably
Probably prompt it and get it to fix.
prompted to do something different. So
I really wanted to tell it to make this thing actually a little prettier.
Yeah.
Maybe that's next week.
We can do that next week. Next week's episode.
I was hoping it would just land on something decent and I could be like, make it actually look good. Because I also wanted it to run Lighthouse. Be like, I want you to run Lighthouse and make sure
Oh,
it passes
that's a
all
good
the
idea.
accessibility
Yep.
tests.
Yeah.
See if it could handle that.
That's a big bar. I don't know if they're going to pull that one off.
That's what I want to find out.
I think this is probably a, an A minus.
Yeah, it did good.
It did pretty good.
And you didn't type any code.
I didn't type any code. I just reviewed it. I probably, in this case, could have been safe just letting it go all out.
All right, we're going to jump in and use Kiro now. This is AWS's new code editor. Curiously, they have a interesting mode, kind of like this spec mode. You can see that on the right. We're not going to jump into that today. That's a different way of approaching things. I think that could be really interesting. They do have some other, like agent hooks, agent steering documents, MCP server stuff. They're a little more built out on some of the fringe/newer ideas coming. I played with this editor some. The completion within editor isn't as good. I think Cursor's still the leader there, but this is an interesting editor. I'm going to take a little bit of text. I'm just going to spit it in and see what it generates for us. We're going to do this, and you will see I already have the site. I already have the site running here. And I couldn't find our hero image. That's not ideal. So it's going to try to go through and generate something. We'll see how this plays out. And it is actually doing this at a pretty good clip. Sometimes these can take a while. And one secret for me is if I leave this screen or leave the editor and try to come back and do something else, I tend to find that I get kind of lost. It looks like it already put a bunch of stuff in here. Now, curious, it didn't seem to use any sort of, well, one, I don't know where it's getting the South African news stuff. This is curious. And has this, it does have a video. This is a Rickroll because it doesn't have the video ID set correctly on the embed code here. So it didn't work very well. It did it quickly. It didn't do what I want. When I'm going to tell it when pulling latest episode, use the post service to get episodes. We'll see if that helps it. I'm basically just going to hint it, hey, there's this post service we can use to get the data. Will it be smart enough to pull that off just with that little bit of text there? I don't know. So updating this HTML. It's reading the file. It says editing. Well, it did something. It changed this file. And I'm going to check it out. Still Rickrolled and still South African news. So it's not actually pulling that video URL. Make sure my mock data actually has that. Yeah, it does. All right, so I don't know what it's doing, but I would say this wasn't a great example of this working well. It's added random stuff and effectively kind of rickrolling us. Not a horrible experience, but not great. I have used this editor before, and it does seem like it works fairly well, but today it did not. The one interesting thing about this editor we will get into at some point is you can actually create these spec files and kind of use that. That's something I want to explore in one of these videos. But all right, we just got done looking at Claude. We got done looking at Cursor, AWS's option. Now I'm going to do this with VS Code. All of these options are a little different. I think VS Code tends to get the least amount of love, and for probably good reason. I think it tends to be the least effective, but it can do a really good job. We're going to see that here as well. I'm going to get the application running. I'm going to do just like we did in the previous videos. We're going to have it running using, actually looks like it already thought it was running. So we're going to get it running in this kind of mock mode. And firing that up here, it's going to run on a port. Looks like it's getting close. There we go. Blank web page. Now I have my prompt already created. That's going to allow us to move a little faster here. This is a website for This Week in ZA, a weekly podcast. With this request, I want you to extend the application to have a home page that looks a lot like the hero.png. I'm already referencing that. Embed the video in an iframe as usually done with a YouTube video. I'm going to click start on this. Now hopefully this will go through, change our home page, and generate, embed a video on there and make it look like the video in that hero.png. We'll see how it does. All of these options tend to have different success rates. And it's going. Now it is taking a little bit of time reading here and doing things. I think the other videos we shot, some of the other options, maybe happened a little faster. And I do think that matters. I don't want to completely discount the speed. I think all of these things kind of have that behavior where they almost feel like videos or builds where it takes a ridiculous amount of time to do something. We don't want that. One thing's to happen fast. All right, keeps going here. It's working. Hasn't actually made any changes yet. Boom, just made a whole bunch of changes. Looks like it has the embedded iframe in there. And so far it's updated the home.html page. Here in a second, it's probably going to update the TypeScript page. Yep, it did. And probably also going to update the SCSS page as well. And once it gets that, yep, it says it's doing that right now. Once it gets that done, we'll go look at what it looks like on the web page. All right, it's done. I'm probably going to click keep here. Now it's going to give me a little bit of an update. Cancel running that test, so I want to move a little quicker here. I am going to click keep. I think it's a really, obviously a good pattern to be in to actually look at those before you go run it, but here we got it. Now this doesn't look great. If you looked at the original hero image, some of the things are over here. So I think it did an okay job. I'm going to click this, and it is playing our video. Obviously there's sizing issues, but we do have it running. Now, again, worked fairly well. I think it worked better than, I think it was Coded's example, running it not in the main directory. I think you would have found Cursor done just as well, if not better than this, if it was running from the main directory. So we're going to jump in on each one of these videos and each one of these and kind of look at all these different techniques and tools. I think this was maybe our least successful, or maybe I think the Cursor one was, but maybe that was just the nature of it. We'll kind of keep approaching these and see how we do, and each week we'll kind of continue to extend the application. Thank you. This has been kind of the hero version of this. I'll do maybe another video or maybe even amend to this VS Code, trying to achieve the same results. All these tools are going to do different things, but in different ways. They are often kind of using these same models here. This is actually using Claude Sonnet 4 here, which is probably what the Claude demo Andy was using as well. So they're using a lot of the same models, but the tooling is starting to become quite a bit different between these. This series of videos, we're going to see how kind of all that tooling plays out to create our application. Hopefully over the next few weeks, you'll be able to see all of these, and all the code is out there and live. I'll put a link in the description to how you can get to the repository for this, and over the course of the weeks of this project, we will go from almost nothing to hopefully our new version of This Week in ZA's website. Thank you.
Cool. Then you can cut in Coded's ending after that.
Yep.
Which will be kind of fun because.
Thank you for tuning in. If you like this week's content, make sure to let us know. I think the idea for season 3 is to do more things like this, to learn about these AI tools together and see if we can rebuild the This Week in ZA site up from the ground and make it into something cool. I heard there's big plans for some future use for people outside of sitting on this couch, but we'll see where that goes. Thank you again to Russ for helping us look and sound as good as possible. Yeah, all the jokes there. Tune in next week when we eat some more pizza and play some more tools. Until then, have a good one.